up, family? Man, every time I come into that theme song, I just can't help but just bounce with it. You know, shout out to Loops on that remix. Thanks so much for tuning in today. So happy to see you. I hope that you had a great week and are looking forward to another great week. Today, we are rapping about all night long. Want to give it to you. And on the grill, we're talking about beauty. And I'm so excited to discuss this with our special guest today. And of course, I got a quote for you guys that lays the groundwork for an interesting and provocative conversation. So here's the quote. I've got a dream that's worth more than sleep. And that comes from line 17QQ. And that sets us up nicely to talk, express, relate, connect with my brother, the one, the only Gifted is in the backyard. What's up, fam?
Hello. How are you?
Oh, man, so great. You look so good and white with some pretty teeth.
Thank you.
What's up, man? How are you doing?
I'm actually amazing. On the cutting edge of creation myself, if I might say.
Okay.
Just really staying creative, staying safe, staying healthy, staying positive, and slightly provocative.
Yeah. I like that, slightly provocative.
Yeah, slightly. You can't just give it. You can't be too raunchy. You know what I'm saying out there.
Yeah. You can't slide all the way down the pole.
No. Where's the fun in that?
There is no fun in that. So first of all, Gifted, I just wanted to know what you've been up to.
Man, a lot has been going on. Being able to pivot, it's the whole pandemic. So releasing records and doing these things where life has changed as we know it, and it will forever be different. So trying to anticipate the landscape and navigate through it, still staying creative, moving into the film and television, arena and all those great things, providing great music for a lot of people out there. So it's been a lot going on. And we're just taking it as it comes, singing, songwriting, producing, vocal coaching, everything.
Yeah. And you're so super talented. I mean, I know about how you got involved in the music industry, but please let our audience know how you got involved with doing this music thing.
Well, I came from a musical family, so my mom sung in the church and the whole thing, like, hey, sing the note. Everyone in my family sung. I have a great and big family from Las Vegas, Nevada. So, we thought we was the Jacksons. So I'm the youngest, of four. So I got stuck with all the high notes and all the parts that everybody didn't want, because I was the smallest.
Right.
So I had to tune in my skills, from there. But from there, I went on to actually not even wanting to do music because everyone in my family did it. So I pivoted to sports, played basketball, won state championship. Then we didn't have nothing to do. So I went out and ran track, got a world record from there. And then that's when music kind of called me. Neyo was a great friend of my family's. We consider ourselves cousins. So he got a record deal and whatnot. And I was still songwriting and kind of producing as a hobby. Okay. And then I was like, you know what? I think that's the thing for me. So after that, did a bunch of records for everyone that I could possibly, who would ever even hear me, listen to me. I was a little man on the totem pole. So, they just threw me in the studio and was like, well, have at it. So I learned how to hone on my skills, started writing for everybody, grinding, networking. And I was blessed with the opportunities to get the shot. And, I sunk them.
Right. And you've taken advantage of those options, especially it's really cool that you had a relationship with Neyo, early on before he had became a big name. let's talk a little bit about your relationship with Neyo, because it seems like you guys got a chance to really work together from his beginning more so.
Yeah. Well, I've always been the little cousin. You know what I'm saying? It started off as a personal relationship before it was a professional relationship. There's not a lot of his aunt that he loves and he talks about all the time was my godmom. So, you know, we stayed in the same house quite often, you know what I'm saying? So I was the one getting put in the headlock, you know. He gangster, don't get it twisted. He gangster.
I know he gangster. Shout out to Neyo. He is gangster because his wife is gangster. So look, somebody's gangster around there.
Right.
I love the both of them together. I really do. I do.
Yeah. So his aunt, which is my godmom, they were really pushing and developing artists and for a while. So we always had music as something that we kind of shared, but it was more of personal. It was more of a personal relationship. So knowing him from that way, I got to see him and a couple of other friends that I know that was in the music industry, like Andre Merritt. You know, he wrote a lot of stuff for Chris Brown's Forever and Rihanna, Disturbia, and all those other stuff. So like I got a front row seat because they were older than me. So I got a front row seat to see the inside of the industry before I, you know, signed on the dotted line and all that other stuff. So it was very, very interesting to see what happens on the other side of the screen.
Right.
You know, so I was like, wow, like you have to know this, and this. This is a real industry. This isn't like how it's portrayed to be. This is a very, very aloof industry. You know, you don't really know what's going to happen until it kind of happens.
Right.
So,
right. And I think that's the reason why so many artists end up lost in it, because you're concentrating so much on being a part of it, your talent and who you're meeting and trying to get the right hookups in order to get out there, that you don't leave yourself enough time to be able to fully look at everything that's involved before you sign on the dotted line. Because once you do that, you become a product like anything else that a record label, or you become like a hat. People want to wear you, right?
Yes. And where I got my little, because the talent wasn't the problem for me per se, because I was raised in the church. So I had a lot of skill sets that the music industry could actually capitalize on.
Right.
But what did it for me was a lot of people that's talented don't really understand that it's a business. So we don't know how to understand, hey, I'm a product. You know, you got to be on time. You got to be professional. You have to grind. Just because you're a phenomenal singer, songwriter, or producer, the world's not going to fall at your feet, you know? And that's what I felt like if a lot of artists would know coming in, they would be better prepared. And I think with the internet now and the new artists that's out now, they kind of get it. Like they accelerate a lot faster. So some people could say that the talent is not there, which I don't agree with. I just say that, you know, it's just a different format.
Yeah, that's it.
But their business, like new artists now compared to new artists in the 2010, you know what I'm saying, or the 2000s, completely different. Like they have their head on, they know their market, they know what they're trying to achieve. They're very goal oriented. So, and the success rate is a lot higher, you know? So I think that was one of the main things that I learned, that I think that's very, very important to all new artists. Like, know why you're doing this and who you're doing it for.
Yes. And I think that's good advice for the audience to really consider if they want to be a part of this game, because it's way more than smoke and mirrors. It's more mirrors. And when I say mirrors, more you looking at yourself and making sure you get everything you need to be able to survive. Because once you get in the den with the wolves, guess what? It's dinner time. And you don't have no time to be messing around about trying to prepare yourself in any way. Now, Gifted, you're an amazing singer, songwriter, and producer. How were you able to pull all of those components together? Because that's like playing in different heads, left brain, right brain, leader, non-leader,
Yes.
vulnerable, not vulnerable. How did you get that skill set?
Well, it came from me having to figure it out by myself, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the position to where I met some amazingly talented people
Mm-hmm.
that were actually going places. So by the time I would come around, they'd be like, hey, I can't do a song with you, but like, hey, I got a studio available. So, that was one of the things. I got in there, no one would give me beats. So I started kind of figuring it out how to do it myself, and just really getting in there and just being dedicated. So it started to come along and get better and better and better. So my style is a little unorthodox, which now is the very thing that actually makes me unique. But I used to complain about like, oh, why ain't nobody giving me beats, or no one will write songs for me? Because, I started out just singing, but no one would write songs for me. And, I was kind of always a little creative. So I was just like, all right. The first opportunities that I also got was providing services for others.
Right.
So it was like, well, my older brothers sang, all my cousins are older than me. So it's like, I was always like second in line. So, it actually worked out. It actually worked out.
Yeah, it worked out really well. And I like the one key thing that you said that really makes things work out well for us. You were providing a service for others. That's the key. Like whenever I do things for others, it always seems to work out well for me. Versus when I'm doing this for Lisa, all Lisa all day. That's when it becomes not so good, and it doesn't allow you to move forward. So that's why I wanted to regurgitate that for the audience. Be
and it's a lot
of
harder.
service.
Yeah, and because it's a lot harder. Like a lot of times we feel as if like we're the only ones going through whatever we're going through at the time, and I understand everyone wants to like get their stuff off, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I can cuss or not, but like getting their stuff off, and like, all right, well, I don't want to get taken advantage of, and I don't want to do this, but like the easiest way to learn is to actually be able to do it on someone else's dime. So if you're providing services for other people, you get to learn and practice on someone else's dime. Like I was able to get into the studio to barter through bartering my services. So I got to get to play around with millions of dollars worth of equipment that I would have never ever been able to even be close to, if I had to come out of my pocket. So it was a great opportunity, and I seen it.
Yeah.
So as such, so then, we made it happen. We made it happen.
And you took advantage of it. And I've seen you produce vocals with some people, and you're really patient, and you basically allow them to sort of get to that crescendo that you're looking for when you work with them. Instead of like coming in and say, you need to be this, you really work with people to be their unique self vocally. How hard is that to do? Because I know I've seen you work with some folks where I was like, really? They sing? But, it always comes out to be the best look for that artist. Tell me about that process for you. Like, how do you humble yourself to that level to be able to have somebody learn from you, to teach them something, and then to apply what it is that you are teaching them?
Experience. It took a little while to get to that place, but as I did it, as I started to do it more and more, I started to understand when I write a song and when I demo a song, it's a part of me, but I'm just laying the framework, And once a lot of people would get so used to listening to my demos, because I was blessed to be raised in the church and have a lot of vocal experience and vocal creativity, that a lot of people may may or may not necessarily have. So going into it now, I have to understand their voicing. And the best part for me is to be able to get them to get the confidence, to get that energy, because it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Yes, indeed.
You know, so once they start to get that confidence, you can feel the energy in the room change. And it's a trust thing, you know, because as artists, you know, even myself, we all have egos and insecurities. So as a producer and a songwriter, being able to know what you're going in there to do, it helps it a lot. Like this ain't my song. So I may be able to go into the falsetto, you know, and they may not have that range. So, all right, let's work with what you got. Let's take your skill set and let's start there and build on your strengths while we work on your weaknesses. So, and it always comes out. It takes a little while, but it always comes out. Like you can literally feel it when they start to get it, you know, on playback, they'll start hearing themselves and they'll look and they'll be like, oh, is that me? And I'll be like, yeah, that's you, doggy. And then it goes down. And then from that point, we're rolling. And they allow me to coach them into their greatest version of their self. So
yeah, that's
amazing.
a talent that you have, you know, because you're so super talented. So for somebody to get with you and be able to feel that whatever talent that they are offering is sufficient once they work with you, because you blend the true voice with what they're able to offer, and you surround them with the things to support it. And a lot of times you don't get that from producers. You know, they come in with their own mind, what they want you to do on the song, and you know, they'll just sample you here and then place it different places within the song, and you don't get that same feel that you get when somebody works with an artist the way you do.
Yeah. I incorporate a lot of the weapons, vocal coaching, you know, a little bit of flavor, you know, blending genres of music together. I just try to bring all of my weapons and give it to them in a way that it's easily digestible. Like I have this saying that I say with a lot of artists, like, if you make it easily digestible, you'll eat forever.
Yeah.
You know, so it makes them really, really comfortable, but it's mainly a trust thing. Artists are very, because they're under a spotlight so much and they're critiqued so much that either they have a callus or they're slightly insecure. So either they underdo it or overdo it. So it just takes, you know, a couple of jokes and a couple of, you know, especially when you're strangers, you know, so making them feel comfortable, making them feel relaxed. And once that happens, the real artistry comes out because they're there for a reason.
Yes, indeed. And they want to do the best job that they can. So I think that you explained that nicely, because as an artist, you're vulnerable all the time. You're always in a cycle of, I don't want to say self-doubt, but self-doubt, because you need the people to listen and buy your music. So anytime you are depending on people as a means to validate something you're doing, there's a lot of vulnerability there.
Yeah, especially in the studio, you know, like I say, on a live show or performances, you only got to get it right once. In the studio, you got to get it right 6 to 8 times, you know.
I hated the studio.
That's where the work is. The studio is where the grind and where the work is, you know. I mean, I've had some sessions that go extremely quickly, a couple of hours, and I've been in 36-hour straight lock-ins, shut-ins, like really, really grinding. Like I came up in a golden time to the point to where I had a lot of old school, old heads, or whatever you want to say, professional people who were real musicians, you know, who didn't believe in copying and pasting and cutting and using, taking full advantage of the technology that we have out today. They wanted you to get it right and be able to run through the whole song, one riff. So like, I know I'm in between both worlds. So like, I'm the big and little homie at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like J. Cole.
Yeah, you are, dude. That's why I said you got so much stuff dancing in your head. So let's talk about some of the artists that you have written songs for. Let's talk about some of those that were hits. I know you had to write something for Neyo.
I wrote a record for Neyo called "You Don't Have to Go,"
Uh-huh.
and it was amazing. It was on his first album, but due to my lack of knowledge of how the music industry works,
Uh-huh.
like in deadlines and just professionalism, because I was a kid coming from there. It didn't make the U.S. release, but it got done on the international release, and
Okay.
it actually got leaked too. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh snap! But I worked with Neo. I've worked with Cheese. They call him the Kraken now. So and
Uh-huh.
he's worked with. We did Jagged Edge's Good Luck Charm together as far as
Hmm.
the production. So that's me playing the keys on there. If you listen, you can still hear me messing up. You know what I'm saying? Like they kept it, they loved it. I was like, let me do that over. They was like, nah, we good, brother. So
Yeah.
because I'll sit in the studio and do it 50 times. So I've worked with Belle Biv DeVoe.
Hmm.
I had them come in and they flew out to Vegas and I really got an opportunity to be with them and write and kind of produce and vocal coach them. And they showed me how receptive an artist is really supposed to be in the studio.
Hmm.
Like they came and really changed my life because I'm like, I'm a kid, you guys are legends, and you guys are actually like respecting my craft to the point to where like you guys are really like listening to me. Like I'm really directing a legendary group like
Right.
right now, like they're listening, and I was like,
Yeah.
wow. That's when I was like, okay, cool. And as a songwriter and a producer, you create with a lot of people and a lot of songs. You make a plethora of songs. Some come
Hmm.
out, some don't, but what I've taken away from this is being able to work with so many amazing people like Andre Merritt, and Stanley Randolph, which he produced for 3-6, and he's Stevie Wonder's drummer currently.
Yeah.
You know, uh, my relationship with Clarence Avant, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So
Clarence. I'm
yeah,
like, geez. I know you
yeah,
call him uncle, don't you?
yeah.
He
So
is
it's
the
it's
truth.
yeah. So and I started off writing a lot of songs in ghostwriting.
Uh-huh.
So that was my introductory to the music industry. So
Hmm.
it's something that I can talk about. Mostly I can't. So, but Valley, who was Lorianne Gibson's and DJ Khaled's artist,
Hmm.
that went well. Grammy nominated reggaeton uh, band, the Common Kings. You
Hmm.
know, uh, so Tanil. So I float through genres, so I got a
Hmm.
little bit of everything from reggae to gospel to R&B to rap to hip hop, punk, techno, funk and B, everything. So it's been a crazy, crazy journey.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
that's where my excitement was today, because you live up to your name. You are truly gifted. And you know what? I think that sets us up nicely to go to the grill. Let's burn some stuff
Let's
up.
go. Let's go. Where the sage at?
We're the sage at you ain't lying, shoot. But gifted, I wanted to talk to you about beauty
Okay.
because you're so intricate with everything, so vulnerable, so
Uh-huh.
in touch of with who you are as a man, but also know how to treat a woman. And so I just wanted to talk to you about beauty, what your definition is, what you see in it. And we just sort of play with it real nicely in a way that our audience knows that beauty is way more than skin deep.
Absolutely.
So
Well, the
let
definition the definition of beauty to me is
what is it?
the after effect of self awareness and self acceptance.
Yeah.
At that point, you're beautiful. Once you know who you are and you've accepted who you are, now people can love you for your true, authentic self.
Yes.
If you're trying to be someone else or you're trying to do things that you feel is popular but that doesn't resonate with your soul,
Hmm.
then you're caught in this cycle of attracting things that just don't really fulfill you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's beauty. Everyone has something about them that makes the world fall in love with them. So tap into that. Once people tap into that,
Hmm.
like then the world is their playground. So that's how you make them love you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And, also like as a woman, we're always determined or viewed by our bodies and things like that. So a lot of women think like, hey, if I go get this gigantic 32-inch butt and get my boobs done and this and that and get my body right and my teeth right, that somehow is going to be the beauty that I need to get a man like you, or to get somebody to see me as their true, as something that they want to take home with them. I want to know from your perspective, you're a man, okay, and you see these women with the perfect pop bottle bodies and this, that, and the other. I'm not saying we want to belittle anybody. I just want to bring forth the notion of that you cannot change your body and not change your inside. You know what I mean? Like, you can get the perfect body all day, but if you're not believing and seeing that perfection within yourself, like what you said, getting to know yourself is what beauty is, then there's no beauty there. You know what I mean? And not comparing yourself with other people. I'm just saying these are the things that keep me up at night as a woman, because I could never rest. I'm always compared to the next model. How about keeping this model 212 that been working? You see what I'm saying? So let me lay down some groundwork for me on this, Gifted.
Okay, I got it. In the record that I have that's coming out soon, it's called All Night Long, right?
Right.
And I have a line that says, she just wants to be somebody's somebody.
Yes.
So that's the goal of every woman in my perspective, just to be someone, to someone that's special. Right. So when you start putting on, for example, if you don't like to do your hair every day, like, don't get a weave. If you like to wear braids, just wear braids. Be yourself, because you're going to attract guys who like braids.
Right.
But a lot of times we get so caught up in what's culturally happening now that we start changing our physical features, and we start to attract something that doesn't really resonate with us. So now you're unhappy, and then you're like, well, I just want you to keep it real. And it's like, well, hold on. The hair not real, the eyelashes ain't real, the makeup ain't real, the breasts, you got something that's pushing up, you got something that's tucked, slide, fried, dyed, and laid to the side, and you want me to keep it real? Like, I don't even know who you are until, that's when the real relationship begins, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me see you naked, I want to see you naked, and physically, mentally, and spiritually, I want to see you naked, because when you get into these, whether it's a long-term relationship or an entanglement, you got to be with that person. And, those looks can fade,
Yes, they can. So if you don't get that conversation and you ain't got your man locked down right here, let me tell you something, ladies, you don't have the man. Because I'm telling you, I mean, it ain't stopped my game. I done been in hair rollers. I done been, walking down the street.
That's the best part, though. When you wake up in the morning, you turn that thing over, girl.
Yeah.
Girl. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a headscarf. You know what I'm saying? That when you first wake up, girl.
Yeah.
Give me some boy shorts and a t-shirt.
And it's song.
Is that my wife beater, girl? I want it back right now. Take it off.
There it is.
Take it off right now.
I'm just serious, though. I'm so happy that we're talking about that, because it really does not take all of that. And you're not going to look that way 24/7. That's what's so crazy. It's just like, your body is not meant to match on both sides. We all got one side of our body that we like, oh, catch me on my left or catch me on my right. So it wasn't meant to match equally. So when you do look like you're perfect, it kind of looks weird in a sense.
Yeah, and it's for women. It's not really for men. Men don't, like, we simple. Like, we care about that as long as you functional. You know what I'm saying? Like, and don't come with a lot of toxicity. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so when you say functional, what part needs to function?
All parts that
Okay.
we need, like depending on what we need, sometimes we need, clothes washed, or skills, or a little, or a little thrill.
Right.
But
Skills or
we don't
thrills.
really, yeah, like that hair is going to probably come off, when, makeup is going to be smeared if we're doing our job right. If I'm doing my job right, you know what I'm saying? The beauty's going to turn into the beast.
Beast. There
I
you
promise
go.
that. That's how
Oh
you know if
gosh.
it's getting done right. But I think it's mainly for women because guys, we like what we care about how a woman makes us feel.
Okay. So that's the thing. Long as a woman makes you feel good, you're not really, I mean, I know that you guys are attracted to women usually physically at first, but I'm saying usually the woman that is able to show, like what you said, being naked physically, mentally, and spiritually are the ones that ultimately win the race. You know what I
Correct.
mean? And so I'm all about winning the race, baby. I don't care
Come on
about,
now.
that few minutes of what we have. I'm looking for that long game because that's really when you can really see the best in your man, to me, as far as his beauty, is when you reach that point where he's no longer kind of worried about you wandering somewhere else. When you get that lock in. And when the makeup comes off, you know what I'm saying, and you don't like what you see, you know what I mean, then we get into the crux of everything. But
it's, I think, because it's not really about that, like, because I've seen beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yes.
So we're all attracted to things, and we're all unattracted to certain things. You know what I'm saying? It might be like, your fingernail too long on your thumb.
Right.
Like, like we all got those quirky things about us. But at the end of the day, if you could be a proper helpmate and you could show us how to love, because I feel like a lot of times how we're raised, male versus females.
Yes.
Males, I'll say in my generation, like we weren't properly taught how to understand, identify, and recognize or express our emotions. So when we felt uncomfortable or we felt a certain way, we wouldn't know if we was mad, sad, or just irritated. We wouldn't know. We just act out.
Yeah.
Like a lot of guys will do dumb things once we realize that we're in love. We'll go off and do stupid stuff like go talk to this other chick just to see how I felt. Like, just dumb stuff. Like when we're young, we just do it because we weren't properly educated as from jump on this is what you feel and this is how you properly express how you feel,
Right.
So a lot of times, we got to hit our head up against the wall a couple of times before we get it. So ladies, be patient with us. You know what I'm saying? Be patient. It's okay.
Yes. Ladies, be patient with the fellas, and fellas, be patient with the ladies, and start going for quality over the perfect body, and there ain't nothing inside the head, because self-esteem ultimately is going to be the thing that you're going to fall in love with and that you're going to keep your man with. He got to know you love you before you expect him to love you. Wouldn't you say? And I think we did that beauty thing. I'm feeling gorgeous right now. Thank you, Gifted.
Right.
Let's take
Come
that
on,
off
girl.
the grill.
I see that hair shining, girl.
Hey.
I see it glowing up. Come
Thank
on. Somebody
you.
happy.
I'm real happy.
Somebody get that quarantine love.
There it
Shout
is.
out to my guy Double G holding it down for us.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to Greedy Greg. That's my love. Okay, let's get back to these questions. Let's talk about your song Can't Sleep, because I can't sleep. How did that all come together? And I want to know what was on your mind that was keeping you up.
Well, basically that was an introspective view so that women and everyone can see what goes through a guy's head at the moment where he feels like he can't trust his partner. Like that moment where it clicks and you're like, ooh, okay, like the love stage is over and all this other stuff, and the veil has been lifted, and it's like, you kind of be doing me bad a little bit, But usually from a male's perspective, we have the ability to change the female energy's moods. That's a gift. So it was a double-edged sword because in the song, I'm saying all these things like, dang, but I am also taking accountability for it. Like, I created this beast.
Yeah.
You know, by maybe broken promises or not paying attention to her in ways that she needed to be paid attention to, you know, and just totally being able to engulf myself. So I felt like the guys needed something so that way they can be able to express and they can hear it, and the girls can actually be like, oh, okay, well, that's what a male is thinking. Because we always, you know, hear what girls is thinking.
Yeah.
So that was a level of vulnerability in the songs where it was like, okay, cool. That's the reason why I can't sleep, you know?
I love it. You guys, all the ladies out there and men, y'all got to check out that Can't Sleep, because it is the honest portrayal of what kind of goes through your mind, you know, when you do feel distrust in your relationship and even in yourself, that you chose the wrong person. You cannot sleep. And you wrote that song, right? Of course.
Yes. Okay. I wrote it and we produced it. Me and my guy, Nick V from the Baker Boys, you know.
Shout out to Nick V.
Yeah, Nick V, man. So he gave me this track, and it was like dark and it had like an EDM feel, but you know, I'm R&B to the core, you know what I'm saying? So I had to put the R&B on there, but it gave me an opportunity. Like, the song is like a very, very introspective song. So like when you listen to it, listen to the words, and then you're gonna be like, wow, the stories are great. It's great stories.
Yeah, I love the stories in your song. And speaking of which, there's a line in your song that I want you to explain to me. And it goes, every so often an opportunity comes along to create music out of the ordinary. What does that statement mean to you? What is out of the ordinary? Like once in a blue moon that you get this opportunity.
Just something that touches you to your core. Have you ever had a song that as soon as you heard it, your eyes just begin to water?
Yeah.
Like it literally takes over. It literally changes who you are from a molecular structure, from the tone actually being able to affect the liquid inside of your body, and you just feel it, and you just be like, ooh, oh wow. So those are those rare moments where you be like, oh my gosh,
like this is the one.
Hey, and that's how I do it. Like, that's how my process is. Like, I'll sit there and I'll write it and I'll find 10 or 12 ways to say the same thing until I come up with that one line or that one part that actually gets me emotional. I'll be like, hey! So, and I get to screaming it, like you've heard me, I get to screaming in the studio. I have to let it out. You know what I'm saying? I can't keep that all in there. You know what I'm saying? If it feel good, it feel good, girl.
Yes,
so,
you do.
Those life-changing moments though, like when you hear a song, so.
Wow. And how hard is it for you to stay so true to your music when you see, like, for instance, now a lot of songs don't even have a cohesive thought? How do you keep moving on when you see records like that, you know, getting Grammys and things like that, and you put so much in your craft?
Yeah, it's like knowing your audience sometimes, you know, like we're not, as people, I try to have the art imitate life now, you know, like you're not super serious all the time, you know, or you don't play all the time. It's time to have a good time. It's time to get to business. It's time to chill. You know what I'm saying? It's time to vibe. Yeah. So like just having an arsenal of those things, I had to understand that. And being a creative and working with a lot of other people has helped me understand that, you know? So like, I don't get mad at it. It's just knowing when to pull it out. You know, you can't go to a 5-star restaurant with jeans and a t-shirt on. So I try to just apply it where it goes. So, I mean, some of those grooves be jamming, but it's hard. And how I try to get away from it more is just telling stories. I like to tell stories. Like my artistry isn't about, you know, like me taking my shirt off, you know what I'm saying, and doing all the dance moves and the whining and grinding and shining.
Right,
But
right.
it's but it's an actual thought, so like something that you can ride to, something that you can dance to, something that you can make love to, something that you can, do all those things. But it's more of a thought and a great story. So I try to stick to the great stories, because those songs, in my experience, are the ones that lasted the test of time.
Yeah. And I mean, your music's gonna last the test of time, and I just want to know, how can we follow your movement, Gifted? We want to keep up with you. We want to know everything that you're doing, because honestly, you are truly gifted. I love your music, and the world needs to get this Gifted album right now. So how can we follow your movement right now?
Okay. Well, I'm on all social media platforms as IAMGIFT3D. It's really I Am Gifted, but it's spelled IAMGIFT3D. So you can follow me there. I have a website right now and an app in the works. So we'll have some subscriberships. We're gonna be raffling off PlayStation 5s, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You gotta let me know so I can have my listeners call in there and get one of those.
Right. I got about 4 or 5 of those back there right now, you know what I'm saying? And we just ramping it up. So we'll be able to have a platform that you can directly get access to me, and you can see the journey in first person,
That's gonna be good.
As for now, it's I Am Gifted, IAMGIFT3D on all social media platforms. Holler at me, feedback on the music. Let me know I'm a real person. Come and engage, interact with me, and we'll be making it happen.
Yes, Gifted. Let's go back to our quote, because like I said, it just set the conversation that we had up so nicely. I've got a dream, Gifted, that's worth more than my sleep. And if that ain't for you, Gifted, because I know you and I know the work ethic that you put forth in everything that you do, your family, your relationships, and also your music. And I'm just so happy to be able to have you today, because we have dropped some serious nuggets, and it's going to help those other artists that are coming up and want to work with greats like Neyo and Jagged Edge and, B Minor and, season 9 American Idol winner. We couldn't even talk about Andrew Garcia, just all of these people that you've been able to lend your talent to. But we gave them a great insight on what you're about. So thank you so much. And so let me thank my audience. Thanks so much for tuning in to Rappers in My Backyard. And as you guys could see, man, we are all about planting seeds in this yard. We water them, and guess what? They truly grow. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell. Quit playing with me. Y'all see me working. And also check out our website at www.rappersinmybackyard.com. Sign up for the newsletter so you can stay in step with what we doing back here, because we stepping all day long. And I want to say thank you to the one, the only, my brother, Gifted. Oh my goodness, man. I cannot wait till your record comes out. Thank you so much for sharing your gift with me, Gifted. And I can't wait to hear more from you. And the audience is on fire. And they're probably looking for you right now to listen to some of your music. So for my audience, let's talk, express, relate, connect next week at 2. And thank you so much for tuning in. Me and Gifted is out, baby.
Hey, come on now.
I love you, Gifted. Hang on for me, man.